Hi everyone, this is Selena Kraus and welcome to another card video. In this video, I will show you how to make this card using some no-line coloring and LDRS Creative Well Wishes and stamp set and practically oval die set. So let's get started. You will need is a stamp set, some water-soluble ink, and some water-soluble markers. So I'm going to be using the clouds from the stamp set along the raindrops. And I'm using some watercolor paper. I'm positioning it with my stamp positioning tool. And since I will be die cutting using this die from the Practically Oval set, I wanted to position all the elements to fit inside that frame. So I positioned it once and I stamped, and then the second time and I stamp again using pale blue water-soluble ink. So here I noticed that the second set of clouds was stamped crooked. So I went back and put another piece of watercolor paper and restamped everything at the same spots using my messed up piece to position that stamp on the door of my stamping tool. So next I'm using two shadows of blue, and I'm just trying to see how it will look on that messed up piece of watercolor paper. So I applied the two colors and then I used water brush with some water to blend that ink together. So I'm starting with one cloud, and then I'm outlining it with a darker color, and then I will blend in some of the lighter color. And I'm doing that around the edges going towards the center. Next I'm taking number 2 brush, and I dipped it in water, and then as I'm blending that color, I'm cleaning the brush and applying more water so we get some little more gradation in the color. So, and I'm using a paper towel to wipe that water because it's excess. So next I'm stamping not stamping, but coloring the other cloud that is not touching that first colored cloud. So we're leaving some time for that cloud to dry up, or you can use a heat tool if you want to speed up the process. So now I'm going back to the first image of the two clouds, and I'm coloring that second cloud using the same process as I did for the first one. I'll be just adding a little bit, a third shadow of blue in that spot where the first cloud comes in front of the second cloud, so we have more shadow in the back. So after that, I'm coloring the second cloud and the second set of clouds using the same process with the 3 inks and then some water brush. So we are finishing it here, and here I wanted to speed up my drying process, so I used my heat tool to dry that up, and then the edges were not really clean. With watercolor you can get like very nice sharp edges, so I'm using a pencil, colored pencil, to go around the edges of the clouds to make them more pop out a bit more kind of defined. Next I'll be stamping the raindrops using that same light blue ink, and I'll be coloring into the raindrops. I'll just leave the little lines they connect to the clouds, like dash lines, as they are, or you can go with different color like gray, or to just apply some more color on top if you like. So now I'm coloring the raindrops on the first set of clouds, and then I'll be doing on the same on the second. And for this one I'm just using the lightest blue shade that I use for the clouds. So I'm finishing here. I'm again using my heat tool, and then I'm going with a blue pencil. So for those, because they're a little bit lighter color, I'm using a lighter shade of blue of colored pencil. And I'm going around the outline of those raindrops to make them more defined and pop up. Next, we'll be stamping the sentiment. And I'm using Raven Hybrid ink, and I stamped it a few times so we have nice impression, because I'm using cold press watercolor paper. So I stamped it a few times to have nice and black impression. Then I positioned my die and ran it through the die cutting machine. So here is that die. Next I'll be using some pattern paper. This is from the Jumping Puddles collection, and I'll trim it down to 4 by 5 1/4. Next, I'll use some foam mounting tape to adhere that frame onto the pattern paper. So I'm using the grid of my mat to center it onto the card. Next, I'll use a top folding white note card and some fun foam to finish my card. So for this, I'll be using some liquid glue to adhere the fun foam onto my panel and then onto the note card. And our card is done. Thanks for watching and see you soon in another video. In meantime, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more inspiration and ideas. Thanks for watching. Bye!